My family threw a huge cancer-free celebration for my mom, then banned me, the one who took her to every chemo session. I skipped it, flew to ITA, and what happened next made me realize I was never the problem. They were. Hey, Reddit. So, I never thought I'd end up writing about my own family drama, but here we are. Long story short, I went from being the woman who kept everyone together to the one they tried to erase. And somehow that turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. It's a mess of loyalty, guilt trips, and the best piece I've ever bought with distance. Buckle up, it's a ride. When people talk about being the rock of the family, they never mention that rocks get stepped on. I learned that the hard way. Ruth R. Bowman, 38, female, work in construction management, and I've got the patience of a saint. Or at least I did before my family tested it like a crash dummy. My father died when I was young, so me, being the eldest, turned me into that rock. When my mom, Catherine, got cancer, I didn't even think twice. I stepped up. Every chemo session, I was there. I drove her, sat in the hospital parking lot for hours, sometimes catching sleep in the truck because she'd panic if I wasn't close. I cooked her meals when she couldn't stand long enough to do it herself, missed work more times than I can count, paid bills she didn't even know were overdue, and when she couldn't sleep, I was there on that same creaky couch, half asleep with a blanket thrown over me, making sure she didn't wake up alone. Noah, my younger brother, 32, didn't show up much. Flashy realtor, always grinding, but never closing anything real. Drives a lease car he can't afford and acts like it's a Tesla sponsorship. The guy thinks posting quotes about success on Instagram makes him a businessman. He'd been between places for months, mostly crashing at mom's. During the chemo months, he popped in maybe twice, once to drop off flowers, and once because mom guilted him. He'd stay 15 minutes, then post a selfie captioned, "Family time." Yeah, real saint. Fast forward a year later, mom gets the all clear, cancer-free. I swear that day felt better than any paycheck. She cried. I hugged her. We ordered takeout. I thought finally, peace. Then Noah called. "Hey, sis," he said, his voice way too upbeat. "So, about mom's celebration party?" "Yeah," I said, wiping my hands after fixing a cabinet hinge. "We had to make some cuts, sis. You know how mom gets emotional. Just trying to keep it light, keep it positive." Funny thing is, Noah's the one planning it, but mom's card is paying for everything. Decorations, catering, the works. I stopped mid-motion. Cuts. Yeah, like smaller crowd, intimate vibe. You get it. No hard feelings, right? For a second, I thought I misheard. This was the guy who once faked food poisoning to skip Thanksgiving. I was the one who lived through every hospital beep. Every night, mom said she was scared she wouldn't wake up. And now I was the cut. I let out a short laugh. "You cut me out of mom's celebration. Are you drunk or just stupid?" He chuckled like it was a joke. "Come on, sis. It's not personal. Mom just wants good vibes. You know how heavy things get when you're around. You talk about bills and doctors." I hung up mid-sentence. Couldn't even hear it. My jaw clenched so hard I thought I'd chip a tooth. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the floor for a good minute. That same floor I'd paced on the night she came home from surgery, checking every hour to see if she was breathing. "Okay, keep it light," I called. Mom answered after a few rings, her voice warm but hesitant. "Hi, sweetie." "Mom, Noah said I'm not invited to your cancer-free party. That true?" A pause, then that soft sigh, the one she uses when she's about to downplay something. "Oh, honey, it's not a big deal. Don't make this about you. Noah just wants something small, that's all." I blinked. Small. "Mom, I was there every day. I missed work. Ruth," she interrupted gently. "You've done so much already. You don't need to do everything. Let Noah handle this one. He's the fun one." That hit harder than it should have. Let Noah handle this one. Sure, because when it was driving her to chemo at 6 o'clock in the morning, he was nowhere to be found. But now that she's healthy again and there's music and decorations involved, suddenly it's his turn. I swallowed whatever I was feeling. "Yeah, sure, I'll let him handle it." She hesitated. "You're not upset, are you?" I almost laughed. No, Mom, I'm just learning my place. Don't be dramatic, she said, voice tightening. Right, I muttered. Wouldn't want to ruin the good vibes. That's when it clicked. I wasn't part of the family's good times, just their crisis plan. When things broke, they called me. When things healed, I became a reminder of what they wanted to forget. I leaned back in my chair, rubbed my face, and let out a slow laugh. Not angry, not bitter, just one of those laughs where you finally see the joke and realize it's on you. If they only wanted me when things were falling apart, they could keep me out when everything was fine. I stood up, grabbed my keys, and walked out for a late drive. I didn't know where I was going yet, but I knew I wasn't going to be sitting around waiting for their next emergency. Let Noah handle it. He can start with cleaning up his own mess. That thought stuck with me the next morning. I woke up earlier than usual, stared at the same apartment walls I'd seen every day during Mom's chemo, and realized I had nowhere I actually wanted to be. Not work, not family, not home. I'd been on autopilot for months. Get up, fix things, keep everyone else breathing. But now that no one needed me, there was just silence. So I did something I never do. I opened my laptop, typed last-minute vacations, and clicked the first ad that popped up. Ibiza, sun, sea, and sanity. That sounded about right. I booked it without overthinking. Round trip, 5-star hotel with ocean view. I didn't even blink at the price. I've spent more on therapy for people who never said thank you. This time, the therapy was mine. A few hours later, I called my best friend Chris. He's the kind of guy who always sounds like he's chewing something, even when he's not. Dude, he said between laughs, you're really skipping the chemo party for a beach party? Bold move, sis. Yeah, I said, scrolling through travel options for snorkeling. Guess I needed a vacation from being everyone's emotional support animal. He snorted. Can't even blame you. You've been holding that family together with duct tape. Now you're just letting it rip apart. Pretty much, I said. Let Noah handle the happy vibes. I'm taking the quiet ones. You going alone? Yeah. Less chance of arguments that way. He laughed again. Fair point. Send pics, though. I want to see how a woman looks when she's not paying hospital bills. By noon, I had my bags packed. Minimalist style. A few shirts, shorts, my old Ray-Bans, and a charger. I didn't even bring a jacket. If it rained, I'd buy one. For once, I wasn't preparing for every possible disaster. On the drive to the airport, my phone buzzed nonstop. Noah first. Real mature, sis. Mom's upset. You can't just ghost the family over something small. Then Mom called. Her voicemail started with, Ruth, honey, and ended with, we're supposed to support each other as a family. Apparently, I was breaking unity, which was funny since I wasn't even invited. Then came another text from Noah. You really spending money on yourself instead of Mom's celebration? Wow. That one actually made me laugh out loud. These people had no problem letting me cover hospital bills, meds, and grocery runs when they were broke. But now I'm selfish for booking a flight. I replied once, short and sweet. You threw the party, you pay for it. For once, no one was waiting for me to fix anything. I grabbed a coffee, checked in, and posted a photo of my boarding pass and the plane window. Caption, not invited to the celebration, so I made my own. Of course, Noah couldn't resist replying from his personal pity podium. So you're seriously bragging about ditching your mom's party? Unreal. Didn't even bother replying. He wanted me to look defensive. I wasn't playing that game anymore. By the time the plane took off, I was settled into my seat. For the first time in months, no hospital smell, no crying, no bills, just white noise and sky. Halfway through the flight, I hopped on the in-flight Wi-Fi and saw one last guilt attempt from Mom before the Wi-Fi cut out. I wish you'd reconsider, Ruth. It's important for us to stay close. I almost responded, but what was the point? We were close when I was holding her hair while she puked after chemo. Now I was suddenly distant for taking a week off. The flight landed in Ibiza just before sunset. At the hotel, the receptionist greeted me with a grin. Welcome to Ibiza, Ms. Bowman. You're staying with us for 1 week? I smirked. Maybe 2. We'll see how peaceful it gets. My phone buzzed again. Probably more drama, but I turned it face down on the counter. I wasn't checking anything tonight. No guilt, no explanations. Just me. Silence and salt air. If peace costs distance, I muttered to myself, I'll pay it in full. And for the first time in a long time, I actually meant it. The next few days in Ibiza felt like I'd hit reset on my entire life. By the 5th day, though, my peace got an unwanted visitor. Gossip. It started with a random message on Facebook from an old neighbor back home. Hey Ruth, is everything okay with your mom? I heard some things. Some things. That's always how it starts. I didn't reply, but then another one came from one of Mom's church friends. I don't want to get involved, but I can't believe you'd leave your mother like that after everything. Leave her? I blinked at the screen. What were they even talking about? Then it clicked. Noah. Of course it was Noah. He was the PR manager of lies in our family, the kind of man who could start a rumor before breakfast and believe it himself by dinner. I checked social media, and there it was, a post from his Facebook, all soft lighting and fake sincerity. Some people only show love when it benefits them. Grateful for real family who stick around. The comment section looked like a sympathy parade. You're such a good son, Noah. Your mom's lucky to have you. It's sad how money changes people. Money. There it was, the inheritance angle. Apparently, I wasn't just the bad daughter now. I was the greedy one, too. I spent a few seconds staring at the screen, half laughing, half in disbelief. My mom must have co-signed this nonsense, or at least not corrected it. I wasn't mad, just done, so I did what any calm, sarcastic woman with Wi-Fi and proof would do. I opened my photo gallery, photos of chemo sessions, me sitting next to her, her hand in mine, parking tickets from hospital visits, receipts for groceries, medications, gas, messages reminding her about appointments. Take the anti-nausea meds before bed. Don't skip breakfast before chemo. The stack of evidence was endless. I threw it all together and posted it on my own profile. No rants, no drama, just proof. I cropped anything personal, just dates, miles, and the ugly totals. Caption: spent more on hospital parking than whatever inheritance people think exists. I hit post, set the phone down, and went for a swim. When I came back an hour later, it was blowing up. Dozens of comments, shares, messages, most were supportive. A few said, "Good for you, Ruth." Some said, "Knew Noah was full of it." And one from one of Mom's old friends, "We know the truth, don't let them drag you." And even a family friend we met at the chemo clinic commented with a heart emoji. That one made me smile. Noah, though, he lost it. His text came in like a toddler tantrum. "You're embarrassing us. You're making Mom look bad." "You didn't have to post that," I replied once. Didn't realize honesty was bad PR. He didn't answer, probably too busy damage controlling the story he'd started. I wasn't gloating, just observing. The people who built their identity around being the good ones always panic when you show receipts. It's funny how families rewrite history to make their comfort look like your betrayal. They can't stand when the person they relied on stops playing along. They could talk all they wanted. I had nothing left to explain. "You stop being the hero," I said quietly to myself, "the second you stop saving them." And I smiled because for once I was completely okay with that. The next morning I was sitting at a beach cafe overlooking the water, halfway through a plate of toast and eggs when my phone started lighting up like a Christmas tree. Notifications stacked faster than the tide. Calls, texts, group messages. I stared at the screen for a second, coffee cup in hand, debating whether to even bother. Then a message popped up from my cousin Mary. "You're missing a full movie right now." That got my attention. I typed back, "What now?" Before I even hit send, 3 new messages came in. Noah's girlfriend just threw a fit. Wait, she's throwing food. OMG, she actually threw food. Uncle Ray's yelling at someone. The cake's on the floor. This is insane. I set my coffee down, leaned back, and grinned. I didn't even need to check social media. I could already picture it, the big, drama-free, cancer-free celebration turning into a circus. I scrolled as Mary kept the updates coming like a sports commentator. So, Noah was flirting with the waitress. Sarah caught him, called him out in front of everyone. He tried to say she was imagining things, but then smiled at the same waitress again. She took a plate of shrimp cocktail and launched it. Missed him, but nailed Aunt Jo. I laughed out loud. A couple at the next table looked over, startled. I just waved my phone and said, "Family reunion." They nodded, like they understood. Mary's next message came in. "Uncle Ray and Dad's old friend Carl are now arguing over politics. It's getting heated. Someone just yelled, 'You're what's wrong with this country?' And there goes the cake table. R.I.P. to Mom's masterpiece." I nearly spit out my coffee. A photo followed, blurry but clear enough. Cake frosting smeared across the floor. People standing around awkwardly. Sarah storming out the door with mascara streaks like war paint. Mary again. "Your mom is crying. Grandma's shouting at Noah. It's chaos." Another one seconds later. "And get this. Your mom just said if Ruth were here, this wouldn't have happened." That made me pause for a second. I just stared at the screen, letting the irony sink in. The woman who was supposedly too serious, too intense, and too much drama was now apparently the glue that kept everyone from imploding. "She's really crying," Mary added. "Like full meltdown mode. She's blaming Noah for everything now." The next message came from my cousin Stacy. "You seriously dodged a grenade. Half the guests left early." I sat there calm, amused, feeling a kind of satisfaction that no revenge plan could ever match. I didn't need to do anything. They were doing it themselves. I typed back to Mary, "Sounds like a great time. Make sure to get them a group therapy coupon for the next one." Then I opened my messages. Dozens of missed calls. Noah, Mom, random relatives. My phone was practically overheating. One from Noah finally came through, short and aggressive. "You happy now?" Mom's in tears. I wiped my hands on a napkin, stared at the screen for a moment, then replied, "Sorry, can't fix what's broken from here." Sent. Delivered. Read. Then I blocked his number. The waitress came by to refill my coffee. "Good day?" she asked with a smile. "Yeah," I said, stirring the cup. "Great day, actually." They always acted like I was the problem. Too serious, too cold, too logical. But the moment I stopped showing up, everything fell apart faster than one of Mom's sponge cakes. The mental image of Noah trying to calm Sarah down while frosting, dripped off the wall, almost made me laugh again. The family hero playing event planner while his life literally exploded in front of guests. I imagined Mom's shocked face, mascara running, saying, "If Ruth were here?" Yeah, if I were there, I'd have fixed the mess, apologized for everyone, and made it all look presentable again. But that version of me retired permanently. I kept walking until I found a quiet spot away from tourists, just me, the waves, and seagulls arguing over crumbs. I sat on a rock, watching the horizon glow orange. For the first time, I realized that I didn't feel angry anymore, just detached. The kind of peace you only get when you stop caring about things that used to eat you alive. My phone buzzed one last time. A notification from social media. Someone posted a photo of Noah's perfect party. Half the guests were gone, and the background was pure chaos. The comments were already roasting them. "Rough night. Who throws food at a cancer-free party? Where's Ruth? She usually runs these things." I locked my phone and slipped it into my pocket. "They wanted peace," I said quietly, standing up. The waves hissed at my feet. Guess they found it in crumbs and cake frosting. And with that, I turned around, heading back toward the hotel, ready for another day of real peace. The kind that doesn't need saving. That night, the island was quiet. The kind of quiet you don't realize you've been missing until it wraps around you. I had just finished dinner, grilled fish, salad, and lemon water, and was scrolling through random travel videos when my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Noah. At first, I ignored it. He was blocked on everything, but somehow he found a way through. Maybe a new number, maybe borrowed someone's phone. I let it buzz once, twice, then a third time. Finally, I flipped it over. 3 messages. "Mom collapsed. Ambulance just left. She's asking for you." For the first time in weeks, my chest tightened. My thumb hovered over the screen. I sat up, half in disbelief, half in instinct. The caretaker part of me, the one I thought I'd buried, kicked in immediately, collapsed. Ambulance. I grabbed my phone and started pacing the room. The ocean breeze slipped through the balcony door, but all I could hear was the word collapsed. I almost booked a flight right then. My brain was already calculating time zones and flight schedules, but something felt off, too sudden, too dramatic. So instead I called Mary. She picked up after one ring. Her voice was tired. Let me guess. Noah told you Mom's dying again? My stomach dropped. So it's not true? She sighed. No, she's fine. Noah's just being Noah. Mom felt dizzy earlier, probably from crying all day, and Noah freaked out. No ambulance, no ER. She's literally sitting on the couch watching TV. I exhaled long and slow, feeling the tension drain out of my shoulders. You're serious? Dead serious, she said. I even FaceTimed her. She's in her robe eating soup. Noah's just trying to guilt you into coming home. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so predictable. Unbelievable. No, believable, she said flatly. He's desperate. The party fallout made him look bad, and Mom's been moping, saying you're ignoring her. Noah's spinning it like you abandoned her in her time of need. Classic deflection. I thanked her, hung up, and sat back on the edge of the bed. For a few seconds, I stared at the phone, just shaking my head. I'd spent months keeping that woman alive, driving her to every chemo, holding her hand when she threw up, watching her sleep to make sure she was breathing. And now I was abandoning her because I didn't fall for Noah's soap opera. 10 minutes later, another buzz. Stacy, this time. Don't freak out. There was no ambulance. She just got dizzy. Noah told everyone she collapsed. Total exaggeration. I snorted. The kind of laugh that makes your neighbors think you're losing it. So now I'm the bad daughter for not teleporting home over a dizzy spell. She texted back. Pretty much. Noah told people you knew and didn't care. I rubbed my face. Of course he did. He wasn't just fishing for attention. He was building a narrative. The good son versus selfish daughter story. The one where he's the emotional hero and I'm the cold one sipping espresso in paradise. The next morning, it escalated. I woke up to another flood of notifications. Screenshots from friends, co-workers, even an old neighbor. Noah had posted something on Facebook. Pray for Mom. Some people only remember family when it's too late. Sad world. Attached was a blurry photo of Catherine lying on the couch, looking frail, probably from Noah's dramatic angle. The comment section looked like a sympathy auction. Stay strong. You're such a good son. Where's your sister? I didn't comment. I didn't need to. Instead, I opened my camera, took a clean shot of the turquoise water outside my balcony, and posted it on my story. Caption. Funny how some emergencies only start when peace does. Within minutes, it started circulating. My inbox flooded with laughing emojis from friends who knew exactly what was going on. Even a few of my relatives messaged privately. We saw what Noah posted. Noah, don't worry about it. Everyone knows you were the one there through everything. This is embarrassing for her, not you. Keep enjoying your trip. I appreciated that, but honestly, I didn't need the validation. I'd already seen the pattern. They couldn't function without someone to blame. And since I'd stopped volunteering as their firefighter, they had to set their own fires. That evening, the sun dropped low, and I decided to call Chris. He picked up mid-laugh. What's up, beach bum? They faked a hospital visit, I said flatly. Noah told everyone Mom collapsed. Turns out she got dizzy and wanted soup. Chris went silent for half a second, then burst out laughing. No way. Oh, there's more, I said. He posted some guilt trip speech about siblings who forget family, the usual performance. Man, he said between laughs, your family could make a Netflix series. I'd call it Guilt Trips and Cake Fights. Season 1 would end with me deleting my last name, I muttered. He laughed again, but then his tone shifted. You okay, though? Honestly? Yeah, I said, stretching out on the bed. I can't even get mad anymore. It's almost entertaining. That's when you know you've healed, Chris said, when the same nonsense just sounds like background noise. We talked a few more minutes. mostly him joking about how Noah probably rehearses his Facebook posts in front of a mirror before hanging up. Afterward, I lay there in the dim light, staring at the ceiling fan spinning slow circles. My phone buzzed one last time, a message from an unknown number. Your mother's heart is breaking, Ruth. She deserves better. No name, but I knew it was one of Catherine's friends. The gossip messengers who thrive on half-truths. I deleted it without responding. The window was open, letting the night air drift in. Outside, the sea kept moving, steady, calm, ignoring whatever drama was happening on dry land. I envied it, just rolling on, unbothered, never dragged down. I closed my eyes and smiled to myself. If guilt trips burn calories, I muttered, they'd all be athletes. And for the first time in years, I slept without checking my phone even once. The peace didn't last long. By noon the next day, my phone buzzed so hard it almost slid off the table. Stacy calling. She never called unless something big happened. I answered, "What's on fire this time?" Her voice came out fast. Grandma found out about the fake hospital thing. She called Mom and Noah over this morning and lost it. Like, I've never heard her yell that loud. I sat up. What happened? She made them sit on the couch like little kids, Stacy said, sounding half shocked, half entertained. Started with, "So, Catherine, when did collapsing become a family hobby?" Then she turned on Noah, said if he ever lied about family again, she'd cut him out of every holiday for life. I laughed. About time someone said it. She didn't stop there, Stacy continued. She said, "You two use sickness for attention. You're lucky Ruth's not here to hear this." Mom started crying. Noah tried to defend himself. That got a low chuckle out of me. Manipulating them for my peace, I must be talented. She told him he was an embarrassment, Stacy said. He shouted back, "Everyone always takes Ruth's side," and slammed the coffee table so hard the vase broke. Classic Noah, I muttered. Grandma kicked him out, Stacy said. Told him to grow up before his 30s officially expire. That image alone made my day. But Stacy wasn't done. Sarah showed up right after. She'd seen Noah's Facebook post about the collapse and came to check on Mom. Grandma told her the truth. No ambulance, no emergency, just another one of Noah's stunts. You should have seen her face. Uh-oh, I said, smiling, as she finally connected the dots. She lost it, Stacy said. Told Noah he's a liar, a fraud, and she's done being part of his fake image. He begged her to talk privately, but she said, "The only thing private is your bank account, because you're broke and still act rich." Then she left loudly. I nearly dropped my drink. She said that? Yep, everyone heard. Grandma clapped. I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing. That woman just became my favorite person. Oh, it gets better, Stacy said. Mom tried to follow Sarah out crying, saying, "We can fix this." But Sarah told her, "You can't fix something that's made of lies." I whistled. Brutal. She's not wrong, Stacy said. Then Mom went home and started calling everyone in the family. Like everyone. She said she never meant for things to go this far and that she just wanted to bring the family together, but nobody's buying it. How do you know? Because Aunt Jo made a group chat called Damage Control, and it's just screenshots of Mom's voicemails, Stacy said, laughing. Grandma texted, "Good riddance. It's chaos." I leaned back in my chair, grinning. Sounds like my absence is still doing its job. Pretty much, she said. Mom even tried calling you. She left a long voicemail. You probably got it. I'll listen, I said, though I already knew how that would end. Good luck, she said. It's basically one big guilt speech. After we hung up, I just sat there for a bit, phone in hand. Sure enough, there was a voicemail from Mom. I hit play. Her voice cracked halfway through. "Ruth, please call me. Everything's falling apart. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted everyone close again. You're the only one who can calm Noah down. You're the glue in this family. Please come home." I stopped it right there. She still didn't get it. The glue was gone. The structure had collapsed. I wasn't rebuilding it again. I deleted the voicemail without finishing it and opened my messages instead. My screen was flooded with family drama. Cousins sending play-by-plays, screenshots of Noah's meltdown, people tagging me in memes about karma. One from Mary read, "Sarah dumped Noah. Grandma roasted Mom. Family's treating you like a legend now." Another from Chris popped up seconds later. "Heard from your cousin. You single-handedly triggered the family apocalypse. Proud of you." I sent him a photo of my view. Calm sea, clear sky, quiet beach, and typed back, "They built the fire. I just stopped holding the extinguisher." Later that day, while I was walking back from lunch, Stacy texted again. Noah tried to apologize to Grandma. She told him to stop wasting his breath and start growing a spine. He's moving out of Mom's house. She told him she needs space, too. So now Noah was homeless, single, and humiliated. Couldn't have written it better myself. By evening, I got another message, this time from an unknown number. Turned out it was from one of Mom's friends. Catherine says she's lost both her children. Maybe she'll finally learn her lesson. I didn't reply. I wasn't celebrating, just watching the pattern unfold like a predictable rerun. They wanted a drama-free life. They got it, minus the woman who used to carry their weight. That night, I walked down to the hotel bar just to get a soda and some quiet. My phone stayed silent. No new calls, no updates. I scrolled through my messages one last time before bed. Family chaos, gossip, a few apologies from distant relatives trying to stay neutral. I didn't respond to any of them. I wasn't angry anymore, just detached. When I finally lay down, I opened my notes app and typed out one line. Peace starts when you stop explaining yourself to people who need chaos to feel alive. I read it twice, then set the phone aside. The storm back home was still raging, but from where I was sitting, it looked small, powerless, a problem that no longer belonged to me. They could rebuild if they wanted to, or they could burn it all down again. Either way, I wasn't coming back with the extinguisher. A week later, I flew back home. No drama, no rush, just a quiet flight, a few playlists, and an empty seat next to me. Back at my apartment, I unpacked, made coffee, sat down on the couch, and for the first time in months, it felt like my life again. Then someone started pounding on the door, hard, 3, 4 times in a row. The kind of knock that didn't come from a delivery driver, it came from a problem. I opened it, and there he was, Noah. Same guy who cut me out of my mom's celebration, standing on my doorstep looking like a walking stress headache, wrinkled shirt, red eyes, and that desperate, I need something expression. Well, I said, crossing my arms, the prodigal event planner returns. He pushed past me without asking. We need to talk. I didn't move. You sure? Last time you made decisions, you forgot to invite me to them. Funny, he snapped. You think you're above everyone, huh? You disappear and everything falls apart. I shut the door behind him slowly. You mean your party? The one I wasn't invited to? The one that turned into a food fight? Yeah, I heard it was a hit. He spun around, angry. You ruined everything, Ruth. If you hadn't gone on your little vacation, Mom wouldn't have been so upset and none of this would have happened. I stared at him, blinking once. You're blaming me for chaos I wasn't even there for? That's creative. He pointed at me like I just confessed. You think you're so smart? Grandma's furious. Sarah dumped me. Mom's a wreck. Everything's broken, and you're just sitting here like you don't care. I don't, I said simply. That threw him off for a second. You don't? Nope. I sipped my coffee. You're the one who wanted me out, remember? You said Mom needed a light crowd. Guess the light crowd couldn't handle the spotlight. He clenched his jaw. You think this is funny? Kind of, I said. It's poetic, really. You cut me off to look like the hero, and now you're begging for the woman you cut out to fix your mess. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. You don't get it. Mom's broke. The venue charged extra for the damage. She's been paying off the bills, and I've got nothing left. You should help. I stared at him for a second, almost laughing. Help? You want money from me? You owe her, he said, voice cracking. After everything she did for you. I tilted my head. Everything she did for me? Noah, she literally cut me out of her own recovery party. You threw the event, wrecked it, lied about her collapsing, and now you're at my door asking for cash. That's not help. That's comedy. His face turned red. You always act like you're better than everyone. I shrugged. Not better, just quieter. Which is why my life still works. And yours looks like a demolition site. He went silent. The kind of silence that comes when a person realizes they've got nothing left to argue with. I leaned forward slightly. Here's the thing, Noah. I'm done being the backup plan. You can tell Mom that. You two wanted your piece. You got it. Now live with it. He blinked, then scoffed. You're a real piece of... And you're broke, I said. Which one's worse? That one hit. He grabbed his jacket off the chair and stomped toward the door. You'll regret this when she's gone. I already regret opening the door, I said. He slammed it behind him hard enough to rattle the frame. I stood there for a second, just staring at the handle, then laughed quietly to myself. 2 minutes later, there was another knock. Softer this time, hesitant. I opened it again. Catherine. She stood there with a small purse clutched in her hands, looking smaller than I remembered. Hey, sweetheart, she said softly. I didn't move for a moment. Noah just left. I know, she said, eyes glassy. I wanted to see you. I stepped aside. You're not here for money too, are you? She smiled weakly. No, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. That caught me off guard. She took a breath, her voice trembling. I let Noah take over everything. I thought if I kept the peace, things would stay calm. But I see now that I let him push you away, the one person who actually showed up when it mattered. I didn't interrupt. I believed his version of things because it was easier than facing what I did, she continued. But when everything fell apart, I realized, it wasn't you causing drama. It was us. I just wanted everyone close again. I went about it the wrong way. I nodded slowly. You did. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, she said. I just wanted you to know that I know. I looked at her for a moment. The same woman I drove to chemo. The same one who brushed off my hurt like it was nothing. Now standing in my doorway, finally getting it. I'm not angry anymore, I said quietly, but I'm not rebuilding it either. She nodded, voice small. That's fair. We stood there quietly for a few seconds. No shouting, no guilt, no more pretending. Just two people finally seeing things clearly. She turned toward the door. I'll let you rest. Take care of yourself, I said. She smiled sadly. You too. After she left, I closed the door, locked it, and leaned against it for a second. The apartment was silent again, the kind of silence that felt earned. I picked up my phone and texted Chris. Back home, tanned, sane, and officially retired from family chaos. He replied almost instantly. Legend. I tossed the phone on the table, glanced out the window at the fading sunset, and smiled. They wanted peace. Turns out I found mine.